Hi everyone, it's Betsy Eberly. Welcome family, welcome friends, welcome yogis who have practiced a long time and soon to be yogis who are new to yoga. I'm so happy to be here and to see all of you. Hope all is well with everyone. Hope you're feeling well. Hope you're enjoying this gift of time, which none of us expected. We will do a beginner Vinyasa flow today for an hour. This time we're going to be doing a little bit more flowing than in the first video I did. So we'll be standing up and moving more than we were the last time. So we'll start as we did before, sitting on a blanket or sitting on a pillow that might be a little bit more dense. The idea is to be able to raise the pelvis up off of the earth so that the hip flexors can relax a little. So if you've got kind of a dense pillow, you can use that. If you've got a blanket, you can use that. Or if you've got a bolster, if you're a yogi with equipment at home, or a block, you're welcome to sit on that. I'm just going to sit on this pillow. With the pillow, it helps elevate the pelvis, drop the knees toward the earth, elongate the spine, and it helps the breath move more smoothly. So begin by closing the eyes, giving yourself a number of breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the nose to begin to let your body settle. Allowing the head to feel light, the shoulders to begin to release heavy. The spine begins to elongate with every inhale as the sits bones begin to ground with every exhale. Allow your thoughts to become light. Allow them to enter your mind and then just gently leave. Anything that you need to do after you leave your mat will be waiting for you. This time is just for you to relax, to move in your body, to allow your breath to move, and to allow yourself to create a sense of peace that you can carry with you off of your mat after your practice is through. Bringing hands to prayer at heart center and gently bowing in. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, please do so. I'll set my own private intention, and then I'd also like to set an intention for each and every one of you to have health and happiness and peace in your lives, as well as in the lives of the people that you care about. Go ahead and set your intention now. Open your eyes. Release your hands. You can stay on your pillow, staying slightly elevated. We'll begin with a little bit of shoulder rolling. Allowing the shoulder movement to be small or large, just starting to feel a little bit of an opening. And then taking a pause and reversing the direction. Taking another pause. Pressing through the hands, reaching the crown of the head toward the sky and feeling like you're lengthening your spine as you do this and drawing your shoulder blades gently together on your back and down your back. And then releasing and taking that again. Pressing hands into legs, lengthening through the spine. Give your glutes a little bit of activation to help lengthen and strengthen and steady your body. And then release. And we'll take that one more time. Pressing. Lengthening the spine, crown of the head reaches for the sky, gently draw the shoulder blades together and down, and then feel like you're aligning your ears gently over your shoulders. Nice, and then release. Let that go, just take a few shoulder rolls. Just back a few times, then come through center. We'll take a little bit of seated cat-cow. So holding on to the knees or the fronts of the thighs, you're going to put a little pressure onto the knees as the knees press into the hands and begin to open the heart. Maybe the palms start to draw back to help draw the shoulder blades together. My arm's a little short, so I do have to draw my palms back. So we're opening the heart, little bit of a bend through the back as the gaze reaches forward. And then we begin to let the crown of the head drop. Let the head drop toward the chest, chin tucks, holding on closer to the front of the knees. And then maybe allowing yourself to rock back just a little. Inhale, come forward again, opening the heart. Exhale, releasing back, letting your back flex. Inhale one more time, coming forward. And exhale, allowing yourself to round forward, holding here and breathing. Gentle tuck of the chin, letting the head be heavy. Then come back through center. And we'll come up off of our blanket, up off of our block, whatever prop you have, just set it aside. And we'll come into table pose. Setting hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and keeping the feet parallel, trying not to let them come into touch. Allow yourself to just relax into this pose. Maybe your back feels a little bit of a curve, maybe your head drops. Letting the muscles just relax, and then we'll start to press into a nice strong table. Pressing the hands into the earth, pressing the tops of the feet into the earth, starting to straighten through the spine and get nice and strong through your center. So you're drawing your deepest muscles, those transverse abdominis, drawing them active, almost feeling like your belly is reaching towards your back body. The crown of your head is reaching toward the front of the room. And your shoulder blades gently draw together so your heart is open. Your body should feel nicely strong. Glutes are active, legs are active, arms are active. Then let everything release and relax to feel the difference between relaxed and then active. We'll press again through hands, press through feet, reach the crown of the head, nice and strong through your center. Shoulder blades gently draw together and back, and let that go. We'll do that one more time. Press, strengthen, lengthen, active through glutes and legs, and then release. Gently press to your hands, reach your tailbone back towards child's pose. We're trying to lengthen through the spine, helping release and relax the lumbar spine, then reaching all the way through, up through the crown of the head, into child's pose. From here, biceps are aligned with the ears. Then we can drop forearms down to the earth. The head can come to the earth, or you can bring it to a blanket if that feels better. And then if you'd like, you can release your arms long behind you. Let your head completely relax on the earth. Let everything settle. Let the earth take the weight of your body. And breathe. Come back up to table. Bringing hands back under the shoulders, reset yourself, get comfortable. Gently pressing the tops of the feet into the earth to help remember to activate through the legs, through the glutes, through the back, and gently allow your hips to move from side to side. Let the movement initially just be through the hips. Then if you'd like, if it's all right in your neck, you can gently turn your head in the direction of the hips, just creating a little bit more lateral flexion through the spine. Really gentle movement. Then come to stillness, and we'll move into cat-cow from the floor. So pressing through hands, pressing through feet. Inhale, shoulders come onto the back, gaze lifts. Exhale, gaze looks back toward the legs, pressing through hands, creating some really nice flexion through the spine. Let the head be heavy and relaxed. Inhale again, coming forward into your cow. Exhale, pressing back into your cat. Last one. I like to sometimes curl my toes on cow to get a little bit of movement through the toe joints. Inhale, forward into cow. Exhale, press back into cat. Then the tops of feet can repress into the earth. Hold with a nicely flexed spine. Fill your back body with breath. Feel it expanding. Relax. Release. Begin to lower all the way down to the earth, bending through elbows. Open your heart. We don't want the shoulders rounded toward the ears. Draw the shoulder blades back onto the body so your heart is open as you lower down. Allow the sits bones to reach for the sky just for a moment, then start to straighten the legs long behind you. Come to your belly. Cross arm on arm. or hand on hand for crocodile. If you have anything that bothers you in your cervical spine, bring hand on hand. That'll create much less of a curve through the cervical spine. Allow yourself to rest for a few breaths. Your legs should be hip bone distance apart, so if they're not, just readjust. Then give a little toss through the hips from side to side. Allow that movement to go. Bring your hands to your mid-ribs, fingertips face forward, the thumbs are in toward the body. The head is on the earth. Let everything relax. Then begin to press the tops of the feet into the earth. Activate through your legs, activate your glutes. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back. Then feel like you're drawing your shoulder blades down your back so that your spine and that your neck feel like they're getting some length. On an inhale, press through hands, lift the upper body. Gaze lifts a touch. Keep everything active. Exhale, lower back down. We'll take that 2 more times. Inhale, pressing up, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. If you'd like to challenge, you can hover hands this last time or grow to full cobra or up dog, whatever your practice is. Inhale, coming up, I'll come into full cobra. Straightening through arms. Strong through the midline. Strong through the glutes to help protect the low back. Exhale, lower all the way down. Return your arms back to crocodile. Let your head rest. Let your low back relax, your body relax. Give that gentle toss of hips. Then become still. Separate your legs just a touch, then bend the knees. Slowly windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Letting your head continue to rest on your hands. Come through stillness, let the legs relax and come back down to the earth. Bring your legs back to hip bone distance apart. Hands come to the earth, back to mid-rib. Slowly begin to press yourself up towards table, but roll the shoulder blades onto the back for an open heart as you do this. Press up using core strength and arm strength. Arriving at table and then continuing to press back slowly into child's pose to fully release the low back and the rest of the back from your back bending. When you first arrive in child's pose, keep your arms active so elbows stay straight. Maybe you even tent the fingers like little spiders and then give an extra press to help lengthen through the back. Then forearms can come down, forehead can come down, and if you'd like, arms can relax behind you for a few breaths. Inhale yourself back up to table. Hands come back under shoulders. Extend your right leg long behind you. Come to the ball of your foot. Keep an open heart. I can feel my shoulders kind of rounded forward. I want to keep my heart center nice and open. Being active through that left leg, so we're pressing the top of the foot into the earth, keeping that side active along with that left glute. Just gently press back into the ball of the right foot. Come forward. Keep lengthening the crown of your head to the front of the room. Don't let the head drop. Don't lift it up. Nice long spine. Press back again. Come forward. One more time. Press back again. Come forward. From here, press into the ball of the right foot. We're going to lift and hover the knee of the left leg. Lift and hover the left knee. How's that sound? Better, right? Lift that just for a breath. Lower it down. Return the right leg to the earth. Extend through the left. We'll take the same thing on this side. Press the top of the right foot into the earth. Get active through that right glute. Press into the left ball of the foot. Gently lengthen back. Come forward. Lengthen back. Come forward. Last one. Lengthen back. Come forward. Get strong through the ball of that left foot. Strong through the arms. Lift and hover the right knee for a breath. Lower it down. Return the left knee to the earth. Now separate the legs a bit And allow the balls of the feet and the toes to come toward one another, and take child's pose this way, feeling a little bit different stretch through the legs. So reaching the tailbone back, pressing slowly to lengthen your spine, coming back into a wide knee child's pose. Sometimes I need to just readjust my hands a little to feel like I'm getting enough length through my back. So maybe your hands need to walk forward a little and out a little like mine did. Maybe they're fine where they are. Take whatever adjustment feels good that you feel like you're getting length. Press. It feels really nice in my upper back. And then let your arms come down, forearms come down, head rests. Just taking a breath or two here. Slowly drawing yourself back up towards the table, resetting your hands under shoulders, resetting knees under hips, and then making sure the feet are parallel again. Let yourself relax. Then we'll activate. Press tops of feet, activate the legs, activate the glutes. Start to draw your front belly towards your back body. Lengthen the crown of the head forward, pressing through hands, feeling really strong through the body. Feel like the inner line of the legs are drawing towards each other, but they're not moving. Now feel like your palms are drawing back towards your knees and your knees are drawing forward, but nothing's moving. It's that muscular activation. Holding here and breathing, you may feel like you're trembling a little bit. Let that go just a touch, just enough to curl through toes. Hover your knees, lower to tap. Hover your knees, lower to tap. Last one. Hover your knees, lower to tap. Hover. Gently press through hands, reaching the tailbone back and up into your first downward dog. First, let's let the chest just come in contact with the thighs. Just letting your body relax here for a breath. Then begin to straighten through the legs into your first downward dog. I'm going to lengthen my dog. It's more comfortable in my body. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Hands are shoulder distance or wider. Feel like you're reaching the tailbone up and back, creating an upside down V. And feel like you're lengthening through your spine. I tend to come into my downward dog with a curve in my low back. In order to help straighten through, I tip my pelvis forward, press a little more through my hands, and feel nice and broad across your shoulders and your upper back. Press a little bit into the pinky edges of your hands and into the thumbs. Come forward to a high plank. So roll forward, keeping your hips and your shoulders about on the same line. Keep the crown of the head reaching forward. Don't drop the head down. Press up and back, downward dog. From here, let's take a little bit of movement through the back line of the legs. Just bend and straighten, alternating. And trying in your downward dog, whether you're moving or still, to keep the ears aligned with the biceps. Allow yourself to become still in your downward dog. Bring a little bend to your knees. Press back through hands. Now reach your tailbone for the sky a bit more, a little more deep in your V. Very nice. Come forward again to your high plank. And one last time. Press back to your downward dog. Reach, bend through the knees, press through the hands, reach the tailbone. I always have to check in with that low back. I need to tuck my pelvis forward just a touch. Come forward to high plank. Lower to your knees, uncurl your toes, slowly press back to child's pose. You can widen your knees if you'd like at first, or just press back. Take a breath. Inhale, come forward. Reset your table. Extend through your right leg. Extend through your left leg. Lower through the right knee, lift. Lower through the left knee, lift. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Bring a little bend to the knees. Start to peel one hand back at a time, walking back towards your feet. Ground through the right hand, peel back the left. Try not to let the rest of the body move. Ground, peel the right back, ground left. Keep peeling until you come into a nice deep forward fold with bent knees. Feet are hip bone distance apart, so if you need to readjust, go ahead. Let your body be heavy, let it just relax. Head is heavy, arms are heavy. Breathing here. Maybe now grab a hold of the insides of the elbows with the thumbs, making a little bit of a frame with your arms, still letting the head be relaxed. Begin to reach the elbows and the arms up so that you're moving the head through your arms like a frame. So just the shoulders and the arms are moving, the head is staying relaxed. Then let the arms drop down toward the earth. Inhale, arms lift up over the head. Exhale, lower them down. If this is uncomfortable, you don't have to do it. You can just relax in your fold. Inhale, arms come up, little shoulder work. Exhale, release into a fold. Let the arms go. Hands can come to the earth or to your legs. Begin straightening through the legs for a halfway lift. So we inhale, hands come up the legs, up the shins, holding once the body's parallel to the earth. But we want to have a nice strong spine. You can have a little bend through the knees, be active through your glutes, active through a midline. Then draw your shoulder blades onto your back and down your back. It's like the crown of your head is reaching for the front of the room. Spine and neck are one nice long line. Exhale, fold in. We take that again. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. I'm straightening through the knees this time. Really lengthening the crown of the head and opening the heart. Bend in the knees. Exhale, fold forward. Bring hands to prayer at heart center. Keep the knees nicely bent. Slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Shoulders, neck, and head are last to arrive. Hands are in prayer. Maybe closing the eyes once you arrive. Taking a few breaths. Maybe wiggling through your toes, lifting through the heels. You can open the eyes at this point. Just getting yourself settled, feeling nicely grounded. Releasing your hands down by your sides. Taking a few half sun salutations. Actually, we'll take a walk up to the front of our mat. So to get there, let's do a little work in between. Bringing hands to prayer at heart center. Get nice and strong through your midline. So we're grounding the feet, drawing the kneecaps up toward the hips, giving maybe a small tuck to the tailbone if it feels right in your body. I have a little bit of a low spinal curve, so I draw myself just tucked a little to make my spine grow longer. Draw shoulder blades together on your back, and then gently align your ears over your shoulders so we're in a nice mountain pose kind of stance, but we have our hands in prayer. Ground nicely through that left leg, lift through the right. Now I'll turn this way just so you can see how my hips are aligned. So grounding here through the left, hands in prayer, lifting through the right. Try not to drop into that hip. Feel like you're growing out of that hip, and then check your hip bones. Now when I say hip bones, it's here. It's not the outsides of the hips, it's the actual bones here. Making sure that they're level. I'm up a little high on this side, so I'm going to drop down. Bring my hands back to prayer. Extend the leg. And then turn the leg toward the right, but from the head of the femur. The whole leg is moving. Bring the leg back through center. Then to the left. Then through center. We're going to bend. Drop that foot. Lower that foot, not drop it. Lower to the earth and take the other side. Nice and strong. Grounded through this leg. Lifting up. Extending the leg. Turning to the left, coming through center, turning to the right, coming through center, rebending, taking a step. I'm going to turn back to the side again. No, I'm going to come back to the front. Let's lift through that right leg again. Let's externally rotate from the head of the femur in that hip joint out to the side, back through center. Nice and slow with control, staying strong and steady through that left leg. Out to the side, back through center, take a step, other side, grounding, lifting. Keeping that foot active as well, so the toes aren't dropped down, they're facing forward. Rotate to the left, through center, left, through center, lowering down. If you're not at the top of the mat, come to the top of your mat. Again, Feet are hip bone distance apart, nicely grounded. Aligning the body. Standing in mountain pose, palms are turning forward. We don't have hands in prayer like we did before. Arms are out to the sides, so we're externally rotating the full arm so the heart is open. Palms are facing forward. Inhale, palms come together. Exhale, bend in the knees, fold forward, hands through prayer. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Remember to draw those shoulder blades onto your back. Exhale, fold forward. Extend arms out to your sides. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Hands return to prayer at heart center. I'm going to take a little step back here. Releasing, taking that again. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold, extending arms out. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Hands meet overhead, down to prayer at heart center. Release. We'll take that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift and lengthen. Fold. Extend arms out. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. You can take a small back bend here if you'd like, but get strong through the glutes, active through your core, your midline to protect the low back. Then bend back. Inhale to open up, and then release the hands down. And we'll add on. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift to lengthen. Fold in. Little bend to the knees, plant the hands, step back to high plank. We'll modify this vinyasa. Lower the knees to the earth, uncurl toes. Lower your body all the way down to the earth, down to your belly. Extend your legs long, hip bone distance apart. Move hands to mid-rib. Inhale, press up into a back bend, your choice. Baby cobra, full cobra, or up dog, wherever you are. Make sure your shoulder blades are drawn onto your back and down to your back. Be strong through your glutes and your midline to protect the low back. And think length through the back, not curve. Exhale, lower down. Press up through table. Curl through toes. Slowly press up and back into downward dog. And take about 3 resting breaths in your downward dog. Hop, step, walk or jump your feet to between your hands. Fold in right away. Nice bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Extend arms out. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Hands meet overhead, down to heart center. Again, that back bend if you'd like, protecting the low back. And release. Taking 2 more like that, modified Sun Salutations. Inhale. Exhale, hands through prayer this time. Bend through the knees. Fold in. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to high plank. Lower knees to the earth, uncurl toes. Lower the whole body down to the earth. Extend legs long behind you. Move hands back to mid-rib. Inhale, press up into your choice of back bend. Slowly press up and back. Curl through toes. Press up and back into downward facing dog. And take a few resting breaths. Bend through knees. Hop into between the hands. Fold in right away. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Extend arms out. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. If you activate nicely through the glutes as you come up to stand, that helps initiate the lift. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold, your choice. Either hands through prayer or diving down. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to high plank. Lower the knees, lower the body all the way down to the earth. Extend the legs long behind you. Bring hands to mid-rib. Press through the feet, draw the shoulder blades onto the back to open the heart. Press up into your back bend. Breathing. curl through toes, press up and back into downward facing dog. Bend through the knees. Bring your feet to between your hands, fold in. Halfway lift to lengthen. Fold in. Extend arms out. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Hands meet again in prayer. And release them. Then to release the work a little bit, you can bring your feet mat's distance apart and allow your body to sway. Be certain that you let your ankles move and your feet move. We don't want to lock those in place. It can feel nice to let the body just let everything go. And we'll come to standing again at the front of our mat. Feet are back to hip bone distance apart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Your choice of where you want your hands to fold. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant your hands. Step your right leg long behind you, coming to a runner's lunge. You can come to your fingertips. The ball of the back foot, full foot in the front. Both toes, all toes are facing forward. Then lower that right knee to the earth, uncurl the toes. Upright your body. And we'll start to take some movement through the leg lines. You can either have your legs stacked with the knee over the ankle and the hip over the knee and take your movement from there. If you want to open up the leg lines a little bit more, you can kind of crawl that left foot forward. If you do have any props at home, something that you can place your hands on to help you with this movement for you can have boxes. Maybe I should have mentioned this before. I didn't even think of it. I'm sorry. You can have, normally we use blocks at a studio. You can have boxes or something like that. But you can just as easily take the movement without holding on to anything. You can just place your hands on your leg for support. The movement, it doesn't matter how deep you go. As long as you're feeling a little bit of lengthening, a little bit of stretching, you certainly don't want to go to any point that's uncomfortable. So your movement might just be here, which is fine. And depending on the day, we can feel different. Some days we really need more opening. Some days we need to be more gentle. You can come all the way down to the earth. It doesn't matter as long as you're feeling comfortable in your movement. And you can also take movement from side to side to get into the opening of the hips a little bit. So then allowing yourself to be still and coming into a low lunge. Again, we can either stack in our low lunge, knee over ankle, hip over knee, or if you feel again like you want more of an opening, you can crawl that foot forward. We want to check in with the hip bones. We want them the same from side to side and front to back. So I'm going to just turn so you can see. So I tend to, when I stack, I tend to come into my low lunge with this hip lower than this one, kind of exaggerating a little. But it's like when we were standing and we were balancing, lifting that leg, we want to stay nice and strong and tall on the supporting side. So here I need to tilt myself this way. Front to back, I'm okay. If I wasn't, I would need to draw this hip back and that one forward. Then, once you're all aligned with your hips, adding the arms, I know I'm explaining a lot here, but we won't do the same thing on the other side as far as the explanation. So we've got a nice, tall, long lunge, reaching through fingertips, then let your shoulders feel like they're relaxed. Then drawing the right hand down to the earth, inside that left foot, taking a little twist to your left. Feel like the leg lines are drawing in towards each other, and the right shoulder blades onto the back. Then bringing the left hand down to the earth. Curling through toes, lifting again into that runner's lunge shape. Step back to a high plank. Then just step the right foot forward and lower the left foot down for low lunge. And we'll take the same kind of movement on this side. Whatever you did on the other side, you can do on this side, unless this side needs a little more attention or a little less attention. If you press into the front leg, As you come forward and add a little load, you'll feel more stretch across the top of that left hip flexor. I'm going to take that little bit of hip movement as well, from side to side. Then coming to stillness. This time I'm going to crawl this foot forward a little bit and be more open in my low lunge. I still want my hips to be evened out. Coming forward, and then inhaling, arms up, reaching so you feel like you're lengthening through your side bodies. Slowly uprighting the body if it bent back a little as mine did, then bringing the left hand inside the right foot, taking a twist to your right. Again, feeling like the leg lines are coming towards each other, and then bringing that right hand back down to the earth. Curling through the left toes, stepping the right foot into a high plank, press up and back to downward facing dog. Give yourself a few breaths of rest here. Then lift through the right leg just to hip height, three-legged dog. Feel like you're turning the whole leg out to the right. So the toes are turning, the leg is turning, and you start to feel like you're stacking the right hip over the left. So your body is nice and open. Press through hands to lengthen through that right leg. You may feel a stretch across that right hip flexor. Then you can either pulse the leg gently, keeping it straight, or bend through the knee. You can either circle through the ankle, or you can circle through the whole hip joint. If you circle, make sure to circle the same number of times in each direction. I'm doing 3. Balance required here. We're also really flossing that hip joint. Then re-straighten your leg. Re-square your hips to the earth, so we're back in three-legged dog. Bend through that right knee, and then draw the foot to between the hands. Give yourself a breath there. And we'll come up into a high lunge. As you're ready, get nice and steady through both feet, on the ball of the back foot, all toes facing forward. If you have anything going on in the low back, you may want to bring one hand to the thigh, then the other hand to the thigh, and steady yourself. That'll take pressure out of the low back. Then you can lift up. Otherwise, you can lift right up from the earth. And it's certainly acceptable to have a little bend in that back knee. We want the body to be upright, so if that bent knee helps, you're welcome to have it. Otherwise, you can straighten. Be active through both glutes to help your body stay steady. And check in, does it feel like your hip bones are facing forward? I'm pretty good. Sometimes I'm a little off. If you're off, you might have to draw the left hip forward and left foot forward, hip forward, and right hip back. Trying to align the ears with the biceps. We're going to bring hands to prayer. Lower that left knee down to tap and lift, straighten the legs. Lower it down to tap, lift and straighten. Last one, lower to tap, lift and straighten. Bring a little bend to that front knee, little bend to that back knee. Begin folding a bit from the torso. Give a little hop into that back foot. Then we're going to draw the left foot all the way forward to meet the right, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold in, extend arms out. Little bend in the knees, come all the way up to stand. Hands meet overhead in prayer at heart center. And return down to the earth. Return down to the heart and then release down toward the earth. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale and fold. Little bend to the knees. Plant the hands. Step back to downward facing dog. Take a few resting breaths. Inhale the left leg up just to hip height. Pressing back through hands. And turn the left toes, the left leg towards the left. Start to feel the body open up as the hips begin to stack over each other. Press back through hands. Reach that foot back, actively stamping towards the wall. Then either give that little pulse through the leg or bend through the knee and then circle there through the hip or the ankle. Again, I'm going to take 3 times and then reverse. Come to stillness, re-straighten the leg, re-square the hips toward the earth, bend through that left knee, and then bring it forward to between the hands, high lunge. You can come to fingertips in your high lunge, and to check to see if your pelvis is level, give a little lift back of the left hip, then draw it back and draw the right hip forward. You probably feel a little bit of a lift through the body. Then we're going to come up for high lunge once again. Again, if you've got anything going on with the low back, you can press hand into thigh, hand into thigh, start to come up, and then add the arms as you're ready. If you don't feel like your body is upright with a straight leg, bring a little bend in, perfectly fine. I'm going to re-straighten, be active through the glutes to help the legs stay nicely drawn towards each other and to keep the pelvis level. Bring hands back to prayer. We're going to lower the right knee to tap, straighten through both legs, lower the knee to tap. Check to see, straighten where your shoulders are. Are they rounded forward or are they drawn back with an open heart? We want an open heart. Lower the knee to tap, lift to straighten, breathe here for a moment. Begin to bend into that left knee. Bring a little bend to the right. I'm going to square my hips back off. Begin to fold forward just a bit from the torso. Maybe hop that back foot in and then bring it forward to meet the left fold in right away. Nice deep bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold, extend your arms out. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Hands meet overhead and return down to heart center. And release. I feel like my body wants to release a little, so I'm just going to do that little separation of the feet on the mat and a little bit of moving through the torso. And coming back to stillness. Let's take a little bit of balance, take a little bit of tree in between our flow. Still coming to about mid-mat. Begin with hands in prayer at heart center. Maybe close the eyes for a moment. Get your breath to settle. Sometimes it feels nice to just take an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth to get that settling feeling. And keeping hands in prayer at heart center. Just checking again where those shoulders are. I'm taking a quick check of mine and I'm kind of rolled forward. So I want to get strong through the torso first, protect my low back, and then draw my shoulder blades together. I'll show you the reason for that. If I just have my hands here, and I'm not doing anything to protect my low back, I'm not activating the glutes, I'm not activating through my core, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit, but if I say to draw the shoulder blades together, you see what I just did? I created a curve in my back that I really don't want. I want that to always be protected and strong and safe and long. So if hands come together, I activate through my glutes first to protect the back, and then I activate my center line. I don't know if you could see that, but it became stronger. Now when I say to move the shoulder blades back, the only movement is the shoulder blades. Nothing's happening in my low back, and I know that I've kept it nice and safe and strong. So now I'll come forward. Hi. So now we're just going to take tree. Getting nice and strong through that left leg. First lifting through the right just to hip height as we did before. Rotating the leg out as we did before. And don't ever worry if you start to lose your balance, just get it back as you're ready. And then placing your foot where it wants to go on your leg without you using your hand. We want the hip flexors, the leg muscles, to do that work for us. So I place the foot. Now to help get more steady, my foot is pressing into my leg as my leg is pressing back into my foot. I'm making sure I'm lifting up out at this side, but not too much, trying to keep everything level. So sometimes I'll do that. I'll put my fingers right on my hip bones to stay level, or check the levelness. Bring hands together. And it's very helpful, especially if you're practicing with other people, to find a fixed spot in front of you on the earth to focus on to help keep your balance. It can be a little tricky if you're with other people and they're moving in front of you. It throws the balance off just like that. So if you get used to finding a fixed point either on the earth or somewhere on a wall in front of you, that can be helpful. So as you're balancing here and breathing through your nose, if you'd like to challenge your balance, you can grow the branches of your tree. If you want to challenge that a little bit more, I know you're going to be watching me, but I'll probably throw you off. But the idea is you can wave the branches of your tree as if they were blowing in the wind. You can close your eyes. That's quite a bit more tricky. Or you can hold the branches steady. You can create a small back bend. If you're doing this, again, we want to make sure that the low back is protected so the glutes are active, the core is nicely active, and as you bend back, think of not arching the back, but lengthening the back, and breathe. Slowly come out of it, bringing hands back to prayer at heart center, releasing the leg but not bringing it down to the foot, releasing it, keeping it active, then slowly lowering down. Nice. You may want to give a little shake to the legs. It'll probably feel really good on that left leg as we prepare to do the right side. So again, making sure the feet are hip bone distance apart, hands come to prayer. Maybe releasing a breath if it feels good. Then getting strong through the glutes, strong through the core, lifting that left leg to hip height, rotating it out to the left, placing the foot where it would like to go, and pressing to help give strength and stability. If you waver a little, don't worry. Maybe your leg is here, maybe it's here, maybe you've got the ball of your foot in kickstand on the earth and just your heel is resting on the inside of the lower leg. It doesn't matter. As long as you've got that stability here and you're strong all through your core, through your whole body and active, you're doing your body a world of good. So bring that foot to wherever it wants to go, keeping hip bones facing forward. Adding the branches of your tree if you'd like. And then if you gave yourself a bit of a challenge on the other side, you can do the same on this side. Slowly coming out of it. There's nothing to focus on the ceiling. It's all one thing. So it's a little trickier to hold balance. Maybe I should put something up there for myself. Picture of a cactus or something. And gently release that leg. Keep it active. Slowly return it to the earth. Let the hands go. If you just want to move the legs around, release everything. And we'll come back to the top of our mat. Taking a breath to settle, maybe standing in mountain pose. Just for a moment, letting the breath flow. I always need to check in that my ears are drawn back over my shoulders. My breath always flows much more nicely that way. Tells me that my spine is in beautiful alignment. Opening the eyes. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward, keeping sits bones over the heels. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bring a little bend to your knees. Hands can come to the earth for support. Step your left foot back for warrior two. Just check in with the feet. You want the front heel to be about aligned with the back arch. Front toes are facing forward. Back toes are either facing ahead or your foot is at about a 30-degree angle. Get nice and strong through both legs. Don't let all the weight come into that front leg. Transfer some back, half of it back to that back leg. Then inhale, the arms come up and around for warrior two. I usually do a quick check once I land. Sometimes I'm a little bit short. When you're down on the ground setting yourself, unless you're really, really used to doing it all the time, you might have to just readjust. And even when you do it all the time, sometimes you have to readjust. You want to feel comfortable. You don't want to feel too short. I'd like to check in with that front knee. Make sure it's over about the second and third toe. Then as you're ready, your gaze looks over the front fingertips. Usually check my back arm to make sure that it's not up too high or winging back. But I've got like a nice long line from fingertips to fingertips. Then allow your breath to settle. Maybe you even close your eyes for a few breaths. If your eyes are closed, open them. Reverse your warrior. Front palm faces the ceiling. Back palm starts to reach back toward the back leg. Doesn't matter how far you go. Maybe you're right here. Maybe you're a little deeper. Right fingertips reach for the sky. And check in with your left shoulder, Is it rounded forward? Draw it gently back to open your heart. Your gaze does not have to be at fingertips. You can bring your neck to more neutral. You can look down towards the earth, whatever feels best in your neck. Inhale back up through center to your warrior two. And prepare for extended side angle. So bending through the arm, forearm comes down to gently rest on the thigh. I like to start with fingertips facing the sky. It allows me a moment or a breath to check in that my alignment with my back is nice. I've got my shoulder forward. I need to draw it back and lift. Feel nice and long through the spine. From here, if I'd like, my fingertips can start to reach toward the front of the room, but there's no movement through the rest of my body. If I want to challenge my balance a bit, I can release this hand off of the leg or just float it for a breath. Or I can come up, extending both arms. It's up to you. Inhale, come up to stand, back to warrior two. Straighten through that front leg. Taking sky archer, again flipping the front palm, and again the back palm reaches back for the back leg. Tipping back, opening through the heart. Inhale back through center, preparing for triangle. Pressing the hips back, reaching the fingertips forward, and then beginning to tip. And again, we want to keep a nice long neutral spine. So maybe your triangle is up here. You can press the back of this hand into the inside of that leg to help open the heart. From here, if you feel open and that you can keep a long spine, you can drop a little lower, but not at the expense of rounding the spine forward. We want the spine nice and long and neutral. So if you're up here higher, that's your healthy position. Take that position. Inhale back up to stand. Head comes through center, hands come through prayer. Then we readjust the feet so that they're parallel, toes are on the same line, preparing for a wide-legged forward fold. Inner line of the legs is just gently drawing together. Glutes are gently active. Heart center is open. Inhale here, maybe there's a little back bend. Exhale, fold forward, keeping your sits bones over your heels. So we'll turn to the side. Sits bones over heels. Hands come down to the earth or come to fingertips and gently start to move from side to side. Getting a little stretch through the inner line of the legs. It doesn't matter how deeply you bend. Maybe it's really subtle, or maybe it's not that comfortable on the knees. You can just do a gentle shift through your hips as well. Coming to stillness, and then taking a forward fold. So there are different arm variations. Your hands can come to the outsides of the legs. They can come to between the feet, fingertips forward or fingertips back. You can grab a hold of the big toe with the first, second finger and thumb. Any variation that works for you. Inhaling, feel like you're lengthening your spine. Exhale, draw yourself down into a fold. There can be a little bend to the knees. Your hands can be on blocks or boxes or any kind of prop you have at home. As you inhale, imagine that your spine is lengthening. As you exhale, imagine yourself folding a little more deeply in, even if you don't actually fold more deeply in. Now, wherever you are, let things be relaxed in the upper body, and then feel like you can draw your shoulder blades together on your back gently to open your heart. Just a subtle movement, inhaling, opening through the heart. Beautiful. Exhale, maybe folding a little bit more. Bring a little bend to the knees. Hands come to the earth under the shoulders, maybe at the fingertips. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, bring a little bend to the knees. Walk your hands around to the front of your mat. So you're readjusting your feet back into a runner's lunge. Feet are parallel to each other like on train tracks, not one in front of the other. From here, feel like you're drawing your right hip back, left hip forward, then slowly draw the left foot forward, nice deep bend in the knees, fold in right away. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold, deep bend in the knees, back sweep your arms, inhale your hands back or up into chair. Try to align the biceps with the ears. If this is not comfortable on the shoulders, you can certainly bring your hands through prayer at heart center. Or you can reach fingertips forward, it's up to you. If fingertips are forward, first the shoulder blades are coming together first the shoulder blades are separating, and then they can draw together. I'm going to bring my hands back to prayer. Slowly press yourself up to stand, using the strength of the legs and active through the glutes. Beautiful, release. Let's let all of that go. That felt really good. We have another side to do. Coming to stand once again at the top of your mat. Feet are hip bone distance apart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Little bend to the knees. Hands come down to support you on the earth. Right foot steps back for warrior two, aligning the heel with the arch. Inhale, up and around. Just check that that left leg's not winging in. We want the knee over the second and third toe. Check in with that back foot as well. Gaze goes over front fingertips. If it's not comfortable for your neck, your gaze can certainly just come forward through center. That's perfectly fine. Preparing to reverse your warrior, flip the left palm. Right hand goes down the back of the leg. And reverse your warrior. Inhale yourself back up. Preparing for side angle, pressing hips back, reaching fingertips, bending through the elbow. Hand comes to rest. Fingertips go to the sky. Check that your heart is open. Then fingertips can reach for the front of the room. And you can decide whether you want to lift the forearm from the leg for a breath, or extend the arm, or just keep it as is. Inhale, come back up to stand. Straighten through the front leg. And take Sky Archer, flip the palm. Check the right shoulder. If it's rounded forward, draw it back to open your heart. Inhale all the way up to stand. And prepare for triangle. Again, start higher on the leg to have that nice neutral spine. Then if you feel like you can drop a bit lower, but don't let the back round, then you can drop a bit lower. Inhale all the way up to stand. Bring a little bend to the knee. Bring hands to prayer at heart center. Start to parallel the feet. Toes are on the same line. I'm just going to turn around again, show you a different arm variation. Bringing the hands to prayer at heart center, and then deciding what you want your arm variation to be as you lower down. I've decided I want to interlace my hands behind my back. Perhaps from the side is better, so you can see this. Before I prepare for this forward fold, you can see my shoulders are relaxed and forward. I want them drawn back onto my back. It's the same thing I cue all the time. Strong through the glutes, strong through that midline. Then the shoulder blades come together on the back. Inhale here, small back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Sits bones stay over heels, so there's a lot of strength required from the legs and the core. Folding forward to where it's comfortable for you. Relaxing your breath as you arrive. Letting your head be heavy and relaxed as well. Two more breaths in your fold. Slowly releasing your hands to come back under the shoulders wherever they were. Pressing fingertips into the earth, halfway lift to lengthen. Fold back in, little bend to the knees. Walk the hands around to the front of your mat. Landing in a runner's lunge. Inhale that right foot forward to meet the left, folding right away. Halfway lift to lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold deep into the knees, back sweep your arms, coming back up into chair. Bringing hands to prayer at heart center. Maybe a little challenge here. Coming up to the toes and the balls of the feet. Lowering a little bit more in your chair. Holding here and breathing with an open heart. Slowly pressing all the way up to stand. A lot of leg strength here. Nice. Very nice. And heels return to the earth. And release. Now coming down to our mats. So coming down to your mat, to your back. If you'd like, if you want to have a blanket just gently under your back, you're more than welcome to do that. Just preparing for some back bends. Setting up with feet hip bone distance apart. And the space between your sits bones and your heels, it'll vary depending upon your leg length. You'll kind of get the feel of it after you've done it a few times, but if you're too far out, you're not going to have a lot of support. It'll be a strain on the low back. So you're better off starting a little bit closer. Maybe start 6 to 8 inches away from your sits bones. Grounding the feet into the earth, gently. Hands support you on the earth, just taking a few pelvic tilts to begin. So the pelvis rocks back toward the ribs, then forward toward the front of the room. Back and forward. One more, back and forward. Coming to neutral. Pressing through the feet, activate your glutes. Feel like you're drawing your legs towards each other, but they're not moving. Inhale, exhale, begin to press the hips up toward the sky, keeping the energy of the legs drawing towards each other. Gently pressing the scapulas, the shoulder blades into the earth, and gently pressing the head into the earth to release neck tension. Slowly lower all the way down. If you'd like, you can interlace hands behind the back. I'll do that to show you. Arms and hands come underneath, fingers interlace. You've got to draw each shoulder blade onto the back so the shoulders are rolling down to the earth. From here, inhale, pressing the feet, activating the glutes, pressing the hips up toward the sky. Arms are pressing into the earth to support you, maybe helping give a little more lift. Breathing here, smooth and steady through the nose. Slowly releasing the hands, lowering down one vertebra at a time, nice and gently. Allow yourself a breath or two to arrive and relax, taking one last back bend, one last bridge. And preparing for your final back bend. Inhale, begin pressing up. Breathing here. Trying to feel like your ribs are not splaying out, kind of containing them in the body. Almost as though the hips and the ribs are reaching a little bit towards each other. Breathing. Gently release. Slowly, one vertebra at a time, all the way down to the mat. Let your body release. Readjust your back as needed. Bring your feet to mat's distance apart, keeping the knees bent. Take a nice inhale and exhale here. And then allow your legs to begin to rock from side to side, gently releasing the low back. Legs rock through center. Rock left, come through center. Rock to the right. Now feel like the left leg is pulling up and allowing the right leg to follow as they rock to the left. And then the opposite. Right leg pulls up and draws, and the left leg follows to the right. And continue that way so you've got just a little bit of muscular activation, and we're not just sort of wishy-washy windshield wipering the legs. And then go ahead and just let the legs gently go back and forth without that extra pulling action. Then the legs return to being steady. They come back to hip bone distance apart. Readjust your pelvis and slowly inhale the knees towards your chest. You can grab a hold of the shins with the fronts of the hands. Maybe the toes need to wiggle a little bit. Mine did. Feet return to the earth. Cross the right ankle over the left knee, opening through the right hip. If this is comfortable, you can stay here and just gently press into that knee, or just keep it as is. If you'd like to increase, you can draw the knees toward the chest, grab a hold of the back of the left leg, press the right elbow into the right knee. You'll feel more stretch through that right hip. You can straighten through the left leg, keeping the feet active rather. The right foot stays active, the left foot stays active. Maybe a little rock to the left. Breathe there. Breathe into the sensation of the stretch in the right hip. Come back through center, rebend the leg. Bring the foot back down to the earth. Bring the hands to the earth for support. And gently allow the right foot, let's lift up through the pelvis. Gently bring yourself to the right as the right foot drops to the left. A little bit of a twist. Inhale through center. And then the left foot moves a little bit to the left hips lift and move a little to the left, and the right knee drops to the right. Come through center, releasing the foot, drawing the knees in toward the chest, then extending the arms out from the shoulders and dropping the knees to the left. Inhale them back through center. Take a breath. Drop the knees to the right. Take a breath. Inhale through center. Release the feet to the earth. And now hip bone distance again. And now cross the left ankle over the right knee. And take your hip opener for the left hip the same way you did on the right. So maybe those knees come back toward the chest. You interlace. Press the elbow into the knee to open up the hip. Feet are active. I just made sure that my shoulder wasn't rounding forward, and I didn't think of it on the other side, I just did it. But I like to feel nice and open through this stretch, so I draw my shoulder blade onto my back as my elbow presses into that knee. So I'm opening through the hip, I'm opening through the side, through my heart center, and then you can lift the leg. Gently rock a little to the right, feeling the stretch in the left. Breathe your breath into that stretch, into that hip. Come back through center. Bend through the knee. Bring the foot to the earth, release. Hands come to the sides for support. Gently lifting up through the pelvis and drawing the hips over to the left. And then letting the left foot rock to the right. Little breath here. Inhale through center, resetting the pelvis, lifting the hips up, moving into the right. The right foot might come a little to the right as well. Dropping the left knee to the left. Inhaling back through center, releasing the left foot to the earth. Reset your pelvis, get everything comfortably square. Feet are back at hip bone distance. Inhale the knees back up to the chest, little hug in. Release the hands out from the shoulders to a T. Let the knees drop to the left. Inhale them back through center, strong through your core. And then let them drop to the right. Inhale through center. Releasing the feet down to the earth. Bringing your arms to your sides, palms face the sky. Allowing the feet to extend long in front of you. Making them maybe a little bit wider than hip bone distance if that's comfortable. Resetting your pelvis, doing whatever you need to feel relaxed and open. Sometimes it's nice to grab a blanket and just have that little bit of extra weight, that little bit of extra comfort on the body to help you unwind and relax and feel nicely grounded. Allowing your breath to once again become steady and relaxed. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Sometimes when you first arrive in your final pose, in your Shavasana pose, sometimes it feels nice to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth to help yourself feel grounded a little more easily. Allowing your breath to gently move through your body, from the crown of the head, beginning to relax the muscles of the face. Relax the throat center and the collarbones, the heart center and the arms, the belly, the glutes, the legs, and the feet. Gently entering the body and gently exiting the body through your exhales. Grounding and settling. Just taking about a minute or two here in your own breath, in your own way, to relax and just breathe. Gently begin to deepen your breath. And begin to bring gentle movement back into your body. Allow your toes to begin to wiggle. Your fingers begin to move. Allow your ankles to circle and your wrists to circle. Maybe take a nice full body stretch, allowing your arms to just gently move along the earth and reach overhead. Stretching through fingertips, stretching through toes, And releasing, allowing the arms to gently release along the earth again. Come back down towards the sides. Feet return to the earth. Gently draw the knees in toward the chest, holding on to the fronts of the shins or the tops of the knees. Hugging them in just for a breath. And maybe letting yourself be released and relaxed, and the body just rocks from side to side. Becoming still once again, releasing the feet back down to the earth. Gently rolling to your right side just for a few more breaths, letting your head rest on your arm like a pillow. And as you're ready, slowly coming up to a nice gentle seat. Allowing your hands to be on your knees, either face down, remaining inward for just another minute or two, or allowing the palms to face up, getting you ready to accept what's to come for you for the rest of your day. And then closing the eyes, allowing the breath again to be smooth and steady through the nose. Bringing hands to prayer at heart center and gently bowing in. Thank you all ever so much for joining me today in this practice. It was a pleasure to be here and teach for you and to practice with you. May we all find new ways of connecting. May we all find new ways of healing. May your joys be many. May your troubles be very, very few. May we all have a peaceful and joyful day. Namaste. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you again. Bye.